Let's talk about a really cool system for getting your mind and body on the same page. It's called 24 Ways, and it's all about breaking through those creative walls and finding your natural flow.
You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. Maybe you're a musician and you're just stuck on a tough passage, or a dancer trying to make a move feel more fluid. Honestly, it can happen with any skill. Your brain knows exactly what it wants to do, but your body just isn't getting the memo. It is so frustrating.
Well, what if there was a clear, step-by-step path to push right through that plateau? That's really the whole idea behind the 24 Ways Rhythm Protocol. It's a method designed to get you out of your own head so you can finally get into the groove.
So what is this thing really? Well, it actually started out as a set of drumming exercises, but it quickly grew into something much bigger. The real goal here is to create a system that makes complex coordination feel, well, natural. It's not just about moving your arms and legs. It's about fundamentally rewiring that connection between your brain, your muscle memory, and your body.
Now, I know that might sound a little complicated, but the entire system is built on a foundation that's actually surprisingly simple. It all boils down to just 4 key points.
Okay, don't let all the text on this image scare you, because the only thing you really need to know is the simple code at the very heart of the system. Everything is based on your 4 limbs. So 1 is your left foot, 2 is your left hand, 3 is your right hand, and 4 is your right foot. That's it. Seriously. Every single pattern we're going to look at is just a different sequence of those 4 numbers.
And the daily commitment? It's so manageable. You just learn 1 new pattern each day. That's the whole task. The idea is to practice for about 10 minutes, and you always start slow, really letting your body internalize the movement. And this part is crucial. You take just a couple of minutes to write down your thoughts in a practice diary. Trust me, that diary becomes this amazing record of your progress.
And speaking of that diary, we actually get to follow the journey of one person, Matt, who documented his entire 28-day experience. This gives us a real, totally honest look at the highs and the lows of learning this protocol.
Right from day 1, Matt hits on this universal truth of learning anything new. He found the very first pattern to be the hardest, and he had this huge realization. Overthinking is the enemy. The second he tried to consciously think about every single movement, he'd mess up. The real goal is to get out of the way and just let your body take over.
He also started to notice specific sticking points. For him, it was the crossbody patterns, where you're coordinating your opposite hand and foot. Those just took a little extra time to feel natural. And seeing that in his diary, it makes the whole thing feel so much more human and honestly achievable.
You know, talking about these patterns is one thing, but hearing them is something else entirely. Let's actually drop into one of Matt's real practice sessions to get a feel for the rhythm.
All right, so we're jumping in on day 17 with pattern 15. Just listen. See how it starts off kind of slow, almost hesitant, and then as his body starts to learn the sequence, it just builds speed into this continuous flowing rhythm. This is what that 10-minute daily practice actually sounds like in action.
And then, after all those days of focused work, you get the breakthrough. On day 24, something just clicked for Matt with pattern 21. It stopped being a mechanical exercise, and it just became pure fun. He says he was dancing around having a blast. This is that moment of flow that everybody's chasing.
And this is it. This is the actual pattern that sparked all that joy. When you look at the diagram, you can almost see that danceable quality he was talking about. It just goes to show how these simple little sequences can unlock a real, genuine sense of groove.
But the journey is never just a straight line up. Even on the final pattern, number 24, Matt hit another wall. He said this one was a real struggle, that he was constantly tripping himself up. It's such a great reminder that challenges can pop up right until the very end, which, of course, makes the final result feel that much more rewarding.
And here it is, the final hurdle. This one's a pretty complex crossbody pattern, and it was the very last piece of the puzzle Matt had to solve before he could put the whole thing together.
So after mastering all 24 of these individual patterns, what's the point? What happens next? Well, you combine them all into the grand finale of the entire protocol. This is where it all leads. See, you don't just learn 24 separate things and call it a day. The goal is to chain them all into one long continuous sequence, a 96-beat rhythmic mandala. That's 24 patterns of 4 beats each, creating this single, beautiful flow of coordinated motion.
And when it finally all comes together, it's not an exercise anymore, it's a performance. It's just pure flow. So take a look and a listen. This is the payoff. This is the result of 28 days of practice. All 24 patterns, all 96 beats, performed as one fluid piece. This is what mastery of the protocol actually sounds like.
Pretty amazing, right? When you watch that final performance, you can literally see the integration of mind and body in real time. So, what's the big takeaway from Matt's journey?
In his very last diary entry, Matt just sums it up perfectly. It became way more than just practice for him. It was a fantastic addition to his morning routine. He said it was a great way to get the blood and breath and brain moving. It's like a holistic warm-up for your entire self.
So the transformation we just witnessed is pretty clear. It's a journey that truly integrates your mind and body. It makes complex coordination feel natural, and it even sharpens your memory. But at the end of the day, it's a simple blueprint for finding focus and flow, and it only takes 10 minutes a day.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. After watching this journey, you kind of have to ask yourself, what could happen if you just committed to a small daily practice? What creative plateau could you finally break through? What rhythm is just sitting there, waiting to be unlocked inside of you?